And then there's this town or this city, kind of right in the outskirts that surrounds it. And he's like, we should go. He's like, all right, let's go. And as soon as they take a couple step chat, Jawas attack. It's like they suddenly rise from the ground and they're like, Houdini! But now, chat, we got to get to my review for Yu Yu Hakusho episode 14. In case you forgot, we just wrapped up Randy the Demon. The Randy the Demon arc, chat. He wanted to get Genkai's power, Aunt May's power, chat. Would have been his 100th psychic warrior he would have killed, chat. Oh, he would have laid waste to the world and the lands of man and woman, chat. It would have been bad. But with the combined efforts of Yusuke and Botan and Kuwabara, Randy was thwarted. Well, also sheer fucking dumb luck. I wonder if that continues to happen throughout this season, chat. I would not be shocked. But yes, that helped out, and they defeated Randy the Demon, chat, and he was imprisoned, I guess. And now, fucking Yusuke, he had to stay with Genkai for 6 months to learn cool various techniques, which I'm sure will be used to get out of many situations, chat, the very last minute. But, chat, we start 6 months later, and we have good old Kiko visiting Yusuke's mom. Yusuke's mom, like, I don't know where he is. He calls every couple of weeks, but, you know, at this point, Kiko, we should just be rest assured that that Yusuke will return no matter what. And she just fucking closes the door and leaves. It's like, Jesus Christ, but she's a shitty mom. I will tell you, chat, Yusuke Urameshi's mom, very bad. I mean, you get the impression that it was like a teenage pregnancy and she was a party girl and she did not, like take care of him. And that makes sense because, Yusuke is kind of a piece of shit too. But it's a sad situation, chat. Even after losing him and saying that she'd be a better mother, is she? Kind of, in a way. She says that, well, he calls me every couple of weeks and he assures me that everything's going fine. And even though he's 14 years old and literally should be in school, she's like, whatever. She's 28. She's 28. Wow. So she had him when she was 14 years old. Wow. All right. So I was pretty accurate. I didn't know that. I mean, I already got the impression that she was a young mom and she was partying and shit. She already looked pretty young. It's like, wow. Well, hey, she was raising him by herself, but was a single mom, and maybe she'll be a better single mother as the series continues on, chat. But right now, a little bit better than when she started out, but still pretty irresponsible. And Kiko, she's got that Yusuke lust. She's lusting after this guy, chat. It's like, when he's coming home. I've not been in like 5 episodes so far. And so we're just, following Kiko and her horny ass. But then who does she see coming over the horizon, chat? Looking hot, looking swole, looking sweaty, with longer hair. By the way, I like Yusuke's hair in this scene. It's a little bit longer and looks good. Much better than how it looks in most of the series, chat. They should have kept this hairdo, if you will. It's kind of like mine to a degree. Not that they look the same aesthetically, but I liked how it was kind of like Gohan in a way, where Gohan from Dragon Ball Z, his fucking hair looked different between multiple seasons and arcs. I was like, ooh, what did they change up Yusuke's hairstyle? I guess they're not changing it up, but I wish they did, because his hair looks much better. And he's like, Kiko, how you doing? I've been gone for 6 months. She's like, oh my God, I've missed you. I'm horny. And he's like, that's cool. And then I guess later that evening, he gets a good old haircut. And he's hanging out with Kiko, and she's asking for 3 thick chocolate milkshakes, chat. And he's sitting with his, I guess, buddy at this point, Kuwabara. They're still a little bit of antagonistic towards each other, but I think for the most part, they seem to be becoming friends. Just kind of like a friendly rivalry, if you will. And, Kuwabara, he's asking, Yusuke, what was it like trading with that old lady? He's like, let me tell you about it. Fucking hard. It was a goddamn nightmare. Let's go through the montage. And the first thing we see Genkai, her little ass, going, all right, Yusuke, you have to balance your entire body weight on this nail like I do. And she weighs like, 40 pounds soaking wet. And he weighs, I don't know, 120, 125, 130, something like that. And he has to balance his entire weight using his energy, his spirit energy, propelling himself off the ground and making sure the nails can go up in his goddamn fingernail check, because that would hurt. And she's like, fantastic, Yusuke, you're doing it. Now maintain this position for 12 hours. She's like, oh, that sounds like a nightmare. And then we see some other things too, where she's like using a Kamehameha attack. and she uses her Kamehameha, and he blasts his ass back. He falls in his ass around the goddamn dojo, and she's like, we're gonna keep doing this every day for many, many hours, at least 10 hours, until you don't move an inch. He's like, oh man. And Kuro's like, whoa, Yusuke, that sounds really rough. And he's like, yeah. And then like for like 6 days, I had to sleep with snakes. Like I got to sleep in a coffin filled with snakes. He's like, whoa. And like I had to live off of like spiders and other arachnids and other insects because they got a lot of protein, but they also got a lot of spirit energy apparently. He's like, gross spiders. He's like, yeah, it was pretty gross. He's like, well, that must have been crazy. Ooh, did you learn anything? He goes, actually, I learned a lot from her. I mean, I was pretty dismissive of her, and she's fucking, evil and shit, but learned a lot of cool abilities, which I most assuredly will use later on in the season. Cool, but he's like, that's cool. And then Kiko walks up. He's like, what are you guys talking about? And he's like, oh, well, Kuwabara, you were talking about how we should all go to movies. Like, yeah, I love movies because they, for whatever reason, are still keeping secrets from Kiko, even though she literally saw Yusuke resurrect from the dead, chat. It's like, why are you fucking keeping secrets from this goddamn girl? I mean, they kept saying they're still keeping some secrets from Kuwabara at this point, which I'm like, why? Just fucking tell her. It doesn't. Who cares? I don't know. That's the one thing I will say. Just fucking tell her. I don't like this whole we can't tell Kiko because she's too sensitive. She's a fucking tough girl. She can handle it. Okay. She was dragging your lazy dead cadaver ass out of the house when it was on fire. Show this girl some respect, chat. She's a hell of a catch, and fucking Yusuke does not see it, chat. Blind as a goddamn bat, ignorant as ever, in my humble opinion. Kuwabara though seems to be a good guy. Because Kiko is like, oh, it sounds so much fun. There's this great art house film we should all go see. And they're like, oh, art house film, great. And so she's just happy that she's got Yusuke back. Man, very poor taste in men, I will say, Chet. She could do better. She should be with Kuwabara. Because Kuwabara is like, listen, Yusuke, because Kiko is just walking ahead of them, and she's just having a great time. And Kuwabara literally says, like, listen, Yusuke, Kiko clearly likes you, and I hope you return that same affection. She's done a lot for you. Like, Kuwabara he's probably my favorite character in the show so far, because initially he's like, he's just like, he's stupid, he's ignorant, but he has a lot of loyalty to his friends. And, he's willing to sacrifice himself and do the absolute best that he can for good. I was like, he's really humble. He should be the fucking spirit detective other than Yusuke. Like, I like Yusuke. I mean, he'll come through, but you really got to light a fire under Yusuke's ass to have him do anything, chap. But they're walking. He's like, you treat her right. And then at one point, they get to the ticket booth, and Kiko's like, 3 tickets, please. And Yusuke, he suddenly notices something. He notices some fucking weird, creepy guys that are staring at him, like, from a ways. He's like, what the hell's that about? And then he's suddenly like, oh, Kiko, listen, we'll be right back. I just got to stop at the store. I'm going to pick up some stuff for the movie. And she's like, oh, and he's like, Kuwabara's coming with me too. Kuwabara's like, I am. He's like, yeah. We need to pick up the thing to do the thing. He's like, yeah, we need to pick up the thing. It'll only take a little while, Kiko. And she's like, well, I mean, I can join you. That's fine. And they're like, well, no, it's like a guy thing. It's like a guy thing that only guys do. And we can't have a girl because it'll be like really awkward. She's like, oh, well, okay, I'll just be in the theater. I'll be in the middle row. And they're like, cool, we'll see you in 5 minutes. And then fucking Kuwabara is like, do you need condoms? He's like, no. Do you need like an ointment? Do you have like a really bad rash like between your thighs and buttocks? He's like, no, you idiot. We're being tracked by some fucking weird pedos. He's like, what? And he turns around and they see these guys in like trench coats and like they're wearing leather jackets and stuff. And they're going, it's like we're fucking watching West Side Story or something, chat. And then eventually it's like, oh, shit, okay, I'll follow your lead. You're a meshy. And they go into this empty lot, and then suddenly, they turn around, and there's like about 5 or 6 of these guys. Looks like teenagers, but their skin is all like gray-blue. And they're like, kill. And they're like, all right, guys, what the hell is this all about? And they're like, we're going to stab you. And they literally pull out fucking switchblades, chat, knives and machetes. And it's like, we're going to stab you. And it's like, whoa. It's like, wow, that escalated very quickly. But thankfully, chat, Urameshi and Kuwabara, they're pretty skilled fighters at this point. We learned that Kuwabara's actually become stronger. He's like a Saiyan, chat. When you almost kill him, he gets stronger. And Urameshi is significantly stronger after all of his 6 months of training with Genkai. And so they handle these weird kind of zombified ghoul children. They kick their ass, but they're almost being fucking stabbed. It's kind of creepy in a way. They defeat them. But then Yusuke, he spots like another guy like in a classic fedora and overcoat. And he's like, hey, you, where you go? He's like, yeah, and he runs away. And then they're trying to follow him. But then right when the creepy guy, the weird pedo, he turns a corner. Bah! Gets hit in the fucking face of a baseball bat. And who was wielding that baseball bat, chat? Botan! And Kuba's like, whoa, pretty girl. Did you miss me? And she's like, oh, it's good to see you again, Kuwabara. And Yusuke's like, Botan, what are you doing here? She's like, I'm here to give you your next mission. He's like, what the? I literally just came back. And I had to, like, sleep with fucking snakes and eat spiders. And I got hit in the chest with, like 1,000 Kamehamehas. What are you talking about? What is this? And she says, "Oh, this is an acolyte. This is a spy from the realm of the Saint Beasts." And he's like, "What the hell is that?" It's like, "That's where you're gonna be going for your next assignment. You gotta go to Ghost Town, Yusuke. Are those other guys still in the lot?" He's like, "I think so." And so Botan and Kuwabara and Yusuke, they go back to the empty lot where these guys are still there. And she goes, "Oh yeah, they're possessed. Their bodies are being used as hosts." And they're like, "What?" And they look down, and it's like, "Oh, it's kind of cool, Chad, because a fucking weird butterfly praying mantis creature crawls out of their throats." And Yusuke's like, "Jesus!" And I'm like, it's like floating around and shit like that, but it's all confused and shit. And Kuwabara, he just grabs it in midair because at first, you know, they're like, oh, that's the thing. Because Botan's like, oh, normal humans can't see these things. They can't see these things, but they take over human bodies and they turn them into zombies. And he's like, whoa. And then Kuwabara's there, and for whatever reason, they're still treating him as if he is not aware of what's going on. And like, oh, Kuwabara, spirits and ghosts aren't real. He's like, I literally fucking see a weird fucking stick bug coming out of that kid's mouth. And he grabs the stick bug in midair and crushes it. And it's like, why are they still, that's what they call them, Makai bugs. Murder bugs. They are murder bugs, chat. James Gunn. That's what I'm saying, Kid Kodiak. James, that's what I was going to say. Because that is like eerily similar to the way in which the butterflies operate in the James Gunn show Peacemaker. So I wonder if he watched this. I don't know. But this was like, oh, what a hell of a coincidence. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll just explain everything to you, Kuwabara. He's like, okay, I mean, I think I know a lot of stuff. And so they finally talk about, like, the whole spirit detective thing with him. Like, they literally fought, like, you know, little Vegeta in that one episode. It's very confusing how they're so unwilling to tell Kuwabara what's going on. I don't get that. He seems competent enough, chat. But she's like, all right, listen, guys. This is your new mission, Yusuke. He's like, I don't want to do a new mission. He's like, you got to do it, okay? It's very serious. Baby Jesus got a note from the Saint Beasts from Ghost Town. We cut to a little flashback to Baby Jesus, and Baby Jesus is having a tough time, chat. He's proven all these, you can come back from the dead, sure. All right, this guy goes to heaven, this guy goes to hell. Fuck him. Oh, my God, this is so much work. And then one of his acolytes comes in. And he's like, boss, Baby Jesus. He's like, what? And he's like, we have a message from the Saint Beasts of Ghost Town. And he's like, oh, shit, okay. Oh, they want to go over to the mortal world and conquer it and destroy it? Ah, shit. Send Yusuke, Urameshi, and Botan on this. I can't deal with this now. But it's a big deal, chat, because apparently, as Botan says, the Saint Beasts, they are some of the worst demons out there, chat. They were so powerful, and they were they laid waste to many civilizations and various other spirits and ghosts and creatures and things. And Baby Jesus and God and Botan and everyone else, they followed them, they tracked them down. But they lost them, and the spirit beasts actually ran into the small castle, and they hid themselves, and they soon built up this castle, become absolutely massive, and they filled it with all sorts of traps and things. Booby traps. It's called Booby Trap Castle, chat. And apparently a bunch of other ghosts and goblins and ghouls and spirits, they became infatuated with the castle, that they actually built a huge community, a huge city surrounding it, chat. And they started worshiping these beasts as saints, as gods themselves. And that's when they were dubbed the Saint Beasts, chat. And there are 4 of them that reside in the castle. And for I guess apparently now there's like, fuck it, we're done. Humanity is weak. They are ripe for the haunting, for the plucking, if you will. And they're like, they want to get out of there. And so we need you, Yusuke. We've found a trap door, if you will, a hidden passage from the human world to the Saint Beast domain that you can sneak in. All right, get on the outskirts of their town, right? And then go through the town, deal with all the fucking weird ghosts and goblins and shit. Get into the castle, avoid all the horrific traps that are there, and then you gotta kill them. We don't even want you to fight them or arrest them. You need to kill these motherfuckers. Is that what they're called? They're called Genbu, Bukaki, Szechuan, and Prince Zuko. That's what they're called, Chad. Genbu, Bukaki, Szechuan sauce, and Prince Zuko. So those are the 4 saint beasts, if you will. Gotta fight them. And Yusuke is like, oh, fuck, fine. And so they go to this basement. They go to this, the warehouse basement, and then Botan starts, like, knocking on the ground, the floor, and Yusuke's, what are you doing? He's like, the portal's here. And she finds it, and she opens it up, and it's just filled with fart. It's filled with all of the goddamn fart in their chat. And he's like, ow, it stinks. It stinks. But then, chat, my man Kuwabara's like, listen, I wanna help you guys with this. And Botan's like, Kuwabara. And I will say, Botan gives Kuwabara an out. Because she's like, listen, you don't have to do this. You're not a spirit detective. He's like, well, I know about this, and I can't in good conscience let Urameshi or you go alone. I've been involved in these things, and I've proven myself, and these, Saint Beasts come to our world and start hurting people. I can't stand for that, so I want to go beat him up. And he literally jumps into the fart tunnel. And fucking Botan's like, wait! he just yeets himself in there, chat. But again, Kuwabara, maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed, but good guy. He's got a good heart, good sense of morality, chat. I'm wishing the best for him. He's a good man. Yeah, they're based off Ancient Legend. Oh, it's cool. Very nice, very nice. Thank you for the 10 minutes, Valkyrie. So, Herman Kuwabara was. That's what he sounds like. And fucking Yusuke's like, is he going to be okay? Botan's like, I hope so. But before you leave, I got to give you some stuff. And he's like, okay. And she takes out these magic mirrors. And he's like, what are these used for? She's like, well, I almost forgot to give these to you. I actually should probably given you these to you when you were fighting Kurama and little Vegeta that one time. They're communicators. He's like, why didn't you give this to me before? He's like, I forgot, okay? I'm stressed out. I'm the Grim Reaper. There's a lot going on in my life. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. He's like, okay, take these, go down there. We got to drop you on the outskirts of town, infiltrate the town, and get to the castle as soon as possible. It's very, very dangerous, all right? If I might be sending you some help in a bit as well, okay, if you guys need it. And Yusuke's like, don't worry, Botan, we'll handle it. And he jumps into the fart tunnel, and he comes on up, Chet, he comes on up, and he sees Kuwabara. Kuwabara's like, I'm wondering when you show up, Urameshi. And he's like, yeah, well, have you gotten a lay of the land yet, Kuwabara? He's like, well, it looks like the castle's that way. It's this massive fucking Leviathan-sized castle, Chat, and everything. It's huge looking. And then there's this town, or this city, kind of right in the outskirts that surrounds it. And he's like, we should go. He's like, all right, let's go. And as soon as they take a couple step, Chat, Jawas attack. It's like they suddenly rise from the ground, and they're like, Wootini! And they're cannibalistic, and they immediately descend upon Kuwabara and Yusuke, Chat. And the thing is, they seem to be relatively weak, because they're hitting them off, they're fighting them and things. But strength in numbers, Chad, strength in numbers. And Yusuke and Kuwabara, they're only two kids, really, when you think about it. And all these cannibalistic Jawas just start, jumping on them. And all the Jawas say, like, we're gonna eat you! We're gonna fucking eat you! And they're like, whoa! And they're almost eaten. They're almost eaten by the cannibalistic Jawa ship. But all of a sudden, the Jawas are being blasted off. They're being blasted off and shot off and cut in half, and they're exploding. And they're like, who the hell's doing this? And we see, chat, the arrival of Kurama, chat. Kurama, remember the Kurama from the earlier episodes? He has the rose red colored hair, and he's very nice. He was like a fox, but then he was weak, and then he impregnated a human woman, and she birthed him, and he was a baby boy. That guy, and also little Vegeta, chat. He's even smaller than Vegeta, which Vegeta's like already 5'2". This guy's like 4'7" or something. And they're there, and they fight off all these things. Kurama's like, hey, and fucking Yusuke's like, whoa, Kurama, little Vegeta, what are you guys doing here? And Kurama explains, so we made a deal with baby Jesus, And he said that if we help you on this mission to defeat the Saint Beasts, kill them, that is, our records will be wiped clean. And little Vegeta's like, I just want to announce to everyone right here, I will take every opportunity to probably kill one of you. And they're like, whoa, little Vegeta, that's a little rough. He's like, listen, I don't like you fucking human pieces of trash, all right? I don't like this guy right here who sold me out. He's like, listen, man, I was trying to save my mom. Fuck you and your mom, man, all right? I'm just trying to do this for baby Jesus, but don't be surprised if I try to stab you in the back. And they're like, well, that makes me feel safe. Kuro's like, I don't like these guys. Yurmeshi, neither do I. Well, I like, Kurama's a good guy. Even Yurmeshi's like, I like Kurama. Kurama's a good guy. Kurobar, he's a good guy. He's like, okay. And so they're like, all right, let's go to town. And so they fight more of the goddamn cannibalistic Jawas, but they eventually retreat. He was like, all right, we can't fuck with the four of these guys. Strength, what did I tell you, chat? Strength in numbers. And then they get to the castle gate. And it's like, oh, it's open. Castle gate's open. Cool. And so they walk in the castle, and they're talking to each other. And the thing is, like, little Vegeta and Kurama are like, listen, guys, like, these guys, we're pretty powerful, and we'll definitely be able to take on these guys. But, still, this place is very dangerous. Only, the most notorious and infamous of demon and spirit criminals and cannibalistic Jawas go here, okay? So be on your guard. And then suddenly, this weird fucking one-eyed bat creature shoots out of a wall and goes, ah, we have visitors. Well, let me show you a warm welcome. And then it flies to the other side of the gate, activates a switch of its eyeball, and then suddenly this giant fucking... the ceiling comes down, chat, like this huge, humongous ceiling. Boom! And it's like, oh, it crushes them. But no, they're actually, all four of them are holding it up. And the little bat then flies over to them, just kind of looking them from, they're like, oh! And he's like, this is the gate of betrayal. And you now must decide how to beat the trial of the gate of betrayal. And they're like, how can we beat the trial of the gate of betrayal? And it's like, well, only one of you may escape. No matter what you do, as you inch forward, it will lower, and lower. The only way that one person can get out is if they betray the entire group. And little Vegeta's like, I'll betray everyone. They're like, no, little Vegeta, no, it's literally been 5 minutes. He's like, listen, I told you I'm gonna kill everybody. And like, little Vegeta, don't you, even Kurama's like, don't you fucking dare, okay? Don't you dare. And the bat's like, oh, you will not escape. Foolish beings. The Saint Beast will destroy you. And that, my friends, is my scene by scene breakdown of Yu Yu Hakusho episode 14. What the fuck's gonna happen next, yeah? Well, we literally get next time on Yu Yu Hakusho, and Yusuke literally says, we got out of the gate of betrayal. So it's like, all right, they clearly figured it out. But I love it. It's like, yeah, we got out of it, but ooh, this Bukkake, we gotta fight Bukkake next. See what happens next time on Yu Yu Hakusho episode 15, chat, which I'll be reviewing next week. Very exciting. Very exciting. Kobar and Hai throwing insults. Oh, definitely. No, they're already, you could tell that those two just like, they do not like each other. Well, I'm on Kobar's side. Fucking little Vegeta, or Ai as you call him. Little shit. He's a little shit, chat. Oh, but I hope you enjoyed my review for Yu Yu Hakusho. This is all made possible thanks to the very generous donation of Glee. This has been a very fun animated series 2 review, and I hope you guys have been liking it, chat. Bukkake, we're still talking about Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's the 4 Saint Beasts. You have, what are they? You have Bengu. You have Bukkake. You have Szechuan sauce, and then you have Prince Zuko. Yeah. I'm going to take some liberties with these reviews. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. The next episode is a total pro move. Oh, yeah, they show that, like, Kurama, he's using his Rose Whip, which we haven't seen him use yet, but it's in the intro of the anime. We haven't seen him using the show proper yet, so I'm excited about that. Alex Bernal, when you eventually get to this review, mention Kiko. They're like, oh no, what about Kiko? And we cut to Kiko at the theater after the movie, and she's like, what the fuck? And she's pissed off as hell. I forgot to mention that, chat. Poor fucking, just tell her what you're doing. You literally came back from the dead. I think she can handle the fact that you're a spirit detective working for baby Jesus. I don't get it. Everybody's like, okay. Yeah. Well, all right.